I just know that from experience. So, I think he lost the fight. If we're being really honest, Tank, you lost that fight. I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion. But there's no way it's a draw, and they didn't call the knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost that unanimous.
First, it was the knee. Now it's the bite. A viral clip shows Gervonta Tank Davis seemingly trying to bite Lamont Roach's ear, fueling fresh controversy. Fans already felt Roach was robbed, and now with pros weighing in on Tank's Tyson-like moment, the debate has intensified. Was it frustration or a full-blown foul? Boxing legends aren't holding back, and reactions are pouring in as the controversy grows. Intro 2. As the viral clip of Gervonta Davis seemingly attempting to bite Lamont Roach's ear circulates, Roach reacts, admitting he didn't notice it during the fight and only realized what happened afterward.
That's when he tried to bite me. I ain't even noticed that until somebody said something. Somebody said he tried to bite me. I ain't know none of that shit until somebody said that shit after the fight. And look, they talking about it. God, that's crazy. That's what he do. He get dirty. He know that he.
Roach draws a striking comparison, but stops short of directly naming Tyson. However, the message is clear. He believes Tank fights dirty when under pressure. As pros and fans dissect the moment, the controversy around Tank's actions continues to grow. Analysts on Blue Blood Sports TV are breaking down the footage frame by frame, with one pointing out that this wasn't just a coincidence. Tank's frustration was evident, and his reaction spoke volumes about his mindset during the fight.
You can see that he actually legitimately tried to bite Lamont Roach Jr., and Lamont Roach points that out. He hit him with a shoulder because he was frustrated, and he took that knee. A lot of bizarre activities and behavior from Gervonta Tank Davis because he clearly was frustrated in this fight.
Tank's frustration boiled over from the knee incident to the alleged bite, with analysts calling his actions bizarre. Fans are questioning if it was desperation, but with boxing pros weighing in, the controversy is growing. Following a fight filled with controversy, from the knee incident to the viral bite clip, Gervonta Davis appeared visibly frustrated and disappointed in himself. In his post-fight interview, he admitted he didn't do enough and took full responsibility for the outcome.
I could have stopped him. It's me. Definitely my fault. It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me too. That was on me for sure. Cause I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And I could have definitely did more. Just a lot going on. But again, it was myself, But you gotta go to the gym and, get back to the drawing board and, train a little hard.
Despite the controversy, Tank Davis took responsibility for his performance, admitting he could have done more. However, with analysts dissecting his frustration and a viral clip fueling the debate, the bigger question remains, was it just pressure getting to him or something deeper? The controversy surrounding the fight has divided fans and analysts, particularly on whether Lamont Roach did enough to dethrone Davis. Some believe Roach outboxed Tank and deserved the win, while others argue it was too close without a clear takeover. Gary Antoine Russell, breaking down the fight from a fighter's perspective, acknowledged Roach's solid performance, but didn't think it was enough to claim victory. Russell highlighted that Roach lasted longer than most of Tank's previous opponents, but in his view, there wasn't a moment where Roach clearly took control. Instead, both fighters traded shots in a close, competitive bout, with no explosive moments to tip the scales. Russell questioned whether Roach truly earned the win or if the draw was the right call, while many in the boxing world feel Roach deserved the victory. The judges scored it a draw, leaving fans and analysts divided. Roach's team isn't staying silent, though. His sparring partner, Daton Young, weighed in on the fight, sharing his perspective and why he believes Roach was denied a clear win. From questionable officiating to the politics of boxing, Young didn't hold back in his assessment of the outcome.
Actually, when I was there, I thought they actually was gonna like rob him. You know what I mean? But you can't, you know what I mean? You can't deceive the people that's there for what they say for real.
So you felt like he should have got the nod in the decision?
Absolutely. Especially with all the other controversy too. It should have been overturned, but we know how boxing works, but I mean, we running it back for a reason.
Young's perspective sheds light on a major issue in boxing: controversial decisions that leave fighters and fans questioning the legitimacy of results. He suggests that, despite Roach's strong performance, there was always a looming concern that the judges wouldn't award him the win. With the added controversy surrounding Tank's actions in the fight, Young believes the result should have been overturned. However, as he points out, a rematch is already in the works, showing that the first fight left too many unanswered questions. Whether Roach can finally secure the decisive win he feels he deserved, or if Tank will come back stronger, remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: this rivalry is far from over. The fallout from Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. continues to stir the boxing world, with new voices weighing in on the controversy. One of the biggest names to speak out is Canelo Alvarez. As a four-division world champion and one of the sport's most respected figures, Canelo understands the rules inside and out. In his eyes, what happened in the ring that night should have led to more than just a draw. From the moment Tank took a knee to the now viral footage of him seemingly attempting to bite Roach's ear, the fight was filled with moments that blurred the line between competitiveness and rule-breaking. Canelo didn't hold back, making it clear that he believes Davis should have faced a far harsher consequence for his actions.
Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point, and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a draw. He take a knee, and plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my view.
Canelo's statement cuts straight to the heart of the debate. If the rules had been followed strictly, Tank Davis shouldn't have been allowed to continue. While some argue Davis was simply trying to recover, others believe that voluntarily taking a knee, combined with his other questionable tactics, warranted disqualification. With a rematch now being discussed and fighters like Canelo publicly calling out how the fight was handled, the controversy is unlikely to fade anytime soon. The bigger question is whether the Boxing Commission will make adjustments moving forward, or if this will just be another example of the sport's long history of controversial decisions. Gervonta Davis has built his reputation as one of boxing's most dangerous finishers, known for his precision, explosiveness, and ability to end fights with a single punch. However, against Lamont Roach Jr., something seemed off. Tank didn't showcase the same killer instinct fans were used to seeing. His usual rhythm was absent, his movements sluggish at times, and instead of dominating, he found himself in a back-and-forth battle that ended in a draw. As the dust settled, many boxing insiders began questioning what went wrong. Some pointed to his controversial in-ring actions, like taking a knee and the viral clip of him allegedly trying to bite Roach, as signs of frustration. Others suggested the real issue was deeper, a lack of focus. Keeson Davis, who knows the pressures of boxing firsthand, weighed in, suggesting Tank simply wasn't mentally locked in for this fight.
Tank overall, like the bigger picture, he just wasn't focused for real. He, doing a lot of arguing in the ring and just a lot of stuff that wasn't like, he wasn't just focused. He wasn't all the way locked in the ring. You heard him say something like, there's a lot of things going on outside the ring that he was leading up to the fight, and shit, that's natural, you know what I'm saying? It's normal. Shit, I was going through the same thing with this last fight, know, so I just feel like he just wasn't focused.
Keeson Davis' analysis sheds light on what many fans suspected. Tank Davis wasn't himself that night. His frustration was evident not only in his body language, but also in his actions inside the ring. Arguing, shoulder bumps, and several controversial moments all pointed to a fighter who wasn't mentally sharp. This isn't the first time Tank has faced questions about his focus. In previous fights, he's been known to start slow, but his power and skill always bailed him out in the later rounds. However, against Lamont Roach, that moment never came. Instead, Tank found himself in a battle he couldn't clearly win, leading to one of the most debated draws in recent boxing history. Now, with talk of a rematch and growing criticism from fighters like Canelo Alvarez, the question remains, will Tank bounce back and prove this was just an off night? Or is this the beginning of a decline? Gervonta "Tank" Davis has long been praised for his explosive knockout power and elite boxing skills. But after his controversial fight with Lamont Roach, questions about his mentality are beginning to surface. Tank has always been seen as a dominant force in the ring, but his performance against Roach, where he struggled and even took a knee, has led many to wonder if he's as mentally tough as he is physically gifted. Some fighters and analysts have given him the benefit of the doubt, suggesting distractions or outside issues may have affected his focus. Others, however, have been far more critical. One of the harshest criticisms came from former world champion and outspoken boxing analyst Paulie Malignaggi. Known for his blunt assessments, Malignaggi claimed there are whispers in the boxing world that Tank doesn't have the mental toughness to handle real adversity in the ring. According to Malignaggi, if you push Tank into deep waters, he folds, and his fight against Roach was just more proof of that.
The Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the DC area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought most of his career. So having said that, you don't want to start too fast. You want to measure your pressure and bring it out because you...
Paulie's words are harsh, but they reflect a growing sentiment in the boxing community. In his biggest fights, Tank has always found a way to win, usually by knockout. But what happens when he's in a battle he can't escape with just one punch?
You'll bring the bitch out of him as the fight wears on, and you kind of started seeing that. Gervonta fouling. There's an interpretation that he might have was trying to bite at one time. I don't really see it. I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying he was trying to bite at one time.
Shoulder strike.
Then the taking.
Okay, so you're saying he has to start that earlier.
But here's the thing: if you started earlier, you're still dealing with a physically talented.
Against Lamont Roach, Tank Davis struggled in ways fans weren't used to seeing. He took a knee, which many believe should have led to a disqualification, and engaged in bizarre in-ring antics, including what appeared to be an attempted bite. After the fight, in his post-fight interview, Tank admitted it was his own fault for not doing more. Paulie Malignaggi is suggesting that these moments signal a mentally weak fighter, one who dominates when things are going well, but crumbles under sustained pressure. If that's true, the blueprint to beating Tank may have been exposed. Don't let him dictate the fight. Don't let him get comfortable. And most importantly, make him doubt himself. But is that really the case? Or was this just an off night for one of boxing's most dangerous punchers? A rematch may provide the answer. Keith Thurman, a former world champion and seasoned boxing analyst, weighed in on the debate. Known for his sharp insights, Thurman acknowledged the controversy surrounding the decision and the fight's nature. He pointed out that when a fight ends in a draw, especially one with so much action, it usually means it was too close to call.
Say Tank didn't really win. They got the majority draw, which means it had to be a close fight, maybe a tough one to call. At the end of the day, when it's a draw like that and an action-packed fight, run it back. I'm pretty sure the fans will watch it one more time.
Keith Thurman's stance aligns with what many in the boxing community have been saying. This fight needs a rematch. A majority draw doesn't satisfy anyone. Lamont Roach feels robbed of a career-defining victory, while Tank Davis' reputation as a dominant force has been called into question. A rematch would not only clarify who the better fighter is, but also give Davis a chance to prove that his struggles were just an off night rather than the start of a decline. Beyond the draw itself, one of the most controversial moments of the fight was the question of whether Tank should have been given a knockdown. Thurman addressed this moment, questioning whether Davis taking a knee should have been officially ruled as such. One of the biggest debates surrounding the fight was when Gervonta Davis took a knee in the later rounds. Many felt it was a clear knockdown, and if scored as such, it could have swung the decision against him. Others argued that an external factor, like an eye poke or discomfort, led to the moment, making it difficult to definitively judge. Although Thurman hadn't seen the moment himself at the time, he acknowledged the divided opinions. He pointed out that whether a knockdown is called often falls into a gray area, as there are many variables at play. However, he also emphasized how a single referee or judge's decision can be the difference between a fighter retaining their title or losing.
The knockdown in round 9?
I didn't get to see it, but my one coach said no. A lot of on-takers say yes. I want to watch how it occurred, because technically when you take a knee, it's very unfortunate, but if there was some outside factor that did get into his eye, I don't know. You're walking on a gray line, and that's when things aren't necessarily black or white. So it's a tough call, and you don't want one little decision to change the whole fight. But in sports, sometimes it is one thing that a referee does or a judge does that determines who wins and loses. So luckily for him, he did not have such a scenario, because obviously the fight was close enough that if the point was deducted, he would have walked away not world champion.
Thurman's breakdown highlights how razor-thin the margins in boxing can be. A single knockdown call could have changed everything, potentially stripping Tank Davis of his title and handing Lamont Roach the biggest win of his career. Instead, Davis escaped with a draw, avoiding what could have been a devastating loss. Thurman's reaction reflects the uncertainty surrounding the fight. He acknowledges the controversy, but doesn't take a definitive stance, instead emphasizing the need for clarity. The only real way to achieve that clarity is through a rematch in the ring. Roach exceeded expectations, pushing Tank to a competitive and closely contested fight. Some believe Roach deserved the win, while others argue Tank simply had an off night. Among those weighing in is former 2-division world champion Danny Garcia, known for his experience at the elite level and his own battles against top competition. Garcia gave his honest reaction to the fight, expressing both surprise and respect for Roach's performance.
It was a close fight. I'm surprised the way Lamont Roach. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight. What went wrong with Tank Davis? I was like, drama. Every night in boxing is not your best, but you got the draw. Would you like to see a rematch of this, or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson? Whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. It was a good fight. Appreciate it, Danny.
Danny Garcia's reaction mirrors the sentiments of many in the boxing community, acknowledging Lamont Roach's effort, but also questioning why Tank Davis didn't look like his usual self. Garcia praised Roach for stepping up and making the most of his title shot, but expressed uncertainty about what went wrong for Davis. Was it a lack of focus during training, a lack of motivation, or did Roach expose previously unseen weaknesses? When asked about the future, Garcia stayed neutral, leaving the decision to Tank and his team on whether to pursue a rematch with Roach or take on a bigger challenge like Shakur Stevenson. Garcia's uncertainty over whether the fight should have been a draw only fuels the ongoing discussion about the need for a rematch to settle the debate. Paulie Malignaggi, known for his sharp boxing insights, didn't hold back when analyzing Tank's performance. While many were shocked that the fight ended in a majority draw, Malignaggi pointed out a crucial factor. Roach dictated the pace and controlled the action. Tank, a fighter often praised for his ability to break opponents down with power and explosive counters, struggled to deal with Roach's rhythm. Instead of leading the exchanges and setting traps, Davis found himself reacting rather than initiating, an uncharacteristic approach for him. Malignaggi emphasized the significance of ring control, underlining how Roach was able to set the fight's tempo throughout.
Majority of the fight in general, you see Lamont is taking control of the ring. I really rate whose dance we're dancing, right? Whose fight we're fighting. Because a lot of times, one guy wants to fight one fight, one guy wants to fight another way. They were marching to the beat of Lamont's drum.
Tank ain't never been into a ring with a full package fighter like Lamont. And he was going to have to think a little bit more than he think in the past. And yeah, we was right there. We want to see what his full arsenal is. We told him to bring his tool bag because we was bringing out. So he had the opportunity to capitalize.
Malignaggi's breakdown suggests that Davis was not the one dictating the action, which is unusual for a fighter of his caliber. Normally, Tank forces his opponents to fight on his terms, closing distance, setting traps, and landing explosive shots when they least expect it. However, against Roach, Davis was forced to adjust to his opponent's pace. Lamont Roach Jr.'s performance against Gervonta Davis shocked many, but for his father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr., this was exactly what they had planned. Roach Sr. repeatedly emphasized that his son wasn't just another opponent. He was a complete fighter with the skill set, discipline, and ring IQ to make things difficult for Davis. Known for his power and finishing ability, Tank has often faced opponents who were either too aggressive, too reckless, or simply not well-rounded enough to challenge him. Roach Jr. approached the fight differently, sticking to his fundamentals, controlling distance, and making Tank think in ways he hadn't before. Roach Sr. believes that's what ultimately